All right, so today we're diving deep into AI and product design.
Yeah, it's a hot topic.
It really is. We're looking at this blog post, Will AI Replace Product Designers?
Oh yeah, by Shreya Mehta.
Exactly, founder of Samhav Solutions.
They're doing some really cool things with AI-driven product development.
Definitely cutting edge.
Yeah.
And the big question, right?
Is AI going to replace designers, or is it just going to change how we work?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, just look at what AI is already doing. It's processing tons of data, spotting patterns, and taking over a lot of those repetitive tasks that we all kind of hate doing.
Oh, absolutely. It's like having a superpowered assistant, you know?
Totally. Imagine having an AI that could just analyze like all the user data, the market trends, competitor designs, and just like that, boom, 100 different logo options.
Talk about efficiency, right?
Oh yeah, both amazing and a little scary to be honest.
Yeah.
But if AI can already do all that, where does that leave us humans?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, you see. AI can crunch numbers and generate variations like crazy, but it still struggles with something that's really key to good design: empathy.
Empathy, huh?
Yeah. And I don't just mean like being nice.
Mm.
It's about truly understanding human emotions and desires, those aspirations, those frustrations that drive how we interact with products.
So like AI could maybe design a chair that's super ergonomic, maybe even adjusts based on your posture and weight, but could it design a chair that makes you feel like safe and cozy after a long day?
Exactly. That's where human-centered design comes in. Mehta emphasizes this a lot in his post. Designing for humans, it takes more than just data and algorithms.
Yeah, it's about really understanding human needs and behaviors and emotions.
And honestly, how do you even begin to teach a machine something as complex and subjective as human emotion?
Right, like joy, sadness, frustration, even nostalgia or a sense of belonging.
All that stuff. AI just can't quite grasp that, at least not yet.
So it's not just about functionality, it's about creating an experience, a connection between the product and the person using it.
Exactly. And that takes a level of understanding that goes way beyond what algorithms can do right now.
Think about designing a toy for kids, for example.
Oh, yeah, good example. You'd need to understand child psychology, developmental stages, play patterns, even like fears and anxieties.
And that brings us to the limits of AI in terms of real creativity, right? AI can riff on existing designs, optimize for certain things, but can it come up with those truly groundbreaking ideas, the out-of-the-box stuff that defines innovative products?
It's kind of like the difference between perfecting a recipe and inventing a whole new cuisine. AI can be a master chef when it comes to optimizing for taste and texture and presentation, but could it have come up with the concept of pizza in the first place?
So you're saying AI might be able to design a better pizza, but it couldn't have invented pizza itself. I like that. But, okay, seriously, if AI can't fully replace human designers, what does the future look like for us?
Well, Meta's blog post paints a pretty interesting picture. He doesn't see it as a battle between humans and machines, more like a collaborative effort.
Oh, okay. So it's less about fearing the robot takeover and more about figuring out how to work with AI and use its strengths alongside our own human abilities.
Exactly. Imagine, you've got an AI assistant that can generate hundreds of design variations in minutes based on your sketches. Imagine it analyzing user data to spot potential problems, even running simulated tests to optimize the design.
That sounds like a dream. It would free us up to focus on the big picture, the creative vision, the human elements of it all.
It's not just a dream, it's happening. There are already AI-powered design tools doing all this and more, like platforms like Uzard that can turn hand-drawn sketches into prototypes.
Oh, wow. Or Chroma, right. That uses AI to learn your color preferences and generate custom palettes.
Exactly. But of course, if we want to thrive in this new world of design, we can't just sit back and let the robots do everything, right?
Right. We need to be prepared, both with our skills and, our mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where Meta's insights on skill development are really valuable. He says designers need to focus on skills that complement AI, not try to compete with it.
So less about, becoming data crunching robots ourselves and more about focusing on what makes us human.
Exactly.
I like that, but, what skills are we actually talking about here?
So Meta breaks it down into 5 key areas:
Okay, hit me.
empathy,
Okay.
creativity, strategic thinking,
Hmm.
collaboration, and then also a deep understanding of ethical design principles.
Right.
These are the skills that'll be most valuable in a design landscape that's powered by AI.
Okay, let's unpack those a bit. We talked about empathy, being able to understand and respond to human needs and emotions. How do we actually sharpen that skill?
Well, I think it starts with being genuinely curious about people.
Hmm.
Go beyond the basic demographics
Yeah.
and try to understand the why behind their behaviors and their choices.
Mm-hmm.
What are their motivations? What are their frustrations? What are their aspirations? And tools like user interviews, ethnographic research, even just good old-fashioned observation can help you tap into those deeper layers of human experience.
Yeah, it's like the more you understand the people you're designing for, the better you'll be at creating products that meet their needs and resonate with them on a personal level.
Exactly. And that brings us to creativity. AI might be able to generate variations on a theme, but it's still humans who come up with those truly novel ideas. Those unexpected solutions that push the boundaries of what's possible.
So how do we cultivate that kind of out-of-the-box thinking? Can you even teach someone to be more creative?
Well, there's no magic formula, but there are definitely things you can do to nurture your creative muscles.
Like what?
Things like exposing yourself to diverse perspectives, experimenting with different creative mediums, even just giving yourself permission to play and make mistakes.
I like that, giving yourself permission to play. Sometimes you need to step away from all the data and the algorithms and just let your imagination run wild.
Absolutely. And that's where strategic thinking comes in. AI can provide us with mountains of data,
Tons of it.
but it's up to us to make sense of that data, to extract meaningful insights, and to develop a clear vision for the future.
It's like having all the pieces of a puzzle, but still needing that human intuition to figure out how they all fit together.
Exactly. Strategic thinking is about seeing the bigger picture, connecting the dots, and anticipating future trends. It's about understanding the why behind the data and using that understanding to make informed decisions that drive the design process forward.
Okay, and what about collaboration? I mean, isn't AI supposed to make us all more independent, more self-sufficient?
It's quite the opposite, actually. As AI takes over more routine tasks, it frees us up to focus on those aspects of design that require human interaction and collaboration.
Okay.
Things like brainstorming new ideas, debating different approaches, working together to refine a concept.
So it's not about replacing human connection, it's about using AI to create space for even more meaningful collaboration.
Exactly. Think about it. When you're not bogged down by tedious tasks, you have more time and energy to connect with your colleagues, to share ideas, to bounce ideas off each other, to build those strong relationships that are so essential to great design.
Makes sense. That actually highlights something really important. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad. That's where ethical design principles come in.
You're absolutely right. As designers, we have a responsibility to use AI in a way that benefits humanity, not harms it. That means thinking critically about the potential consequences of our designs, both intended and unintended.
So it's not just about making things that look cool or work efficiently. It's about making things that are ethically sound, that respect user privacy, that promote accessibility, and that consider the broader societal impact.
It's about designing with intention, with a deep understanding of the ethical implications of our work. And it's a responsibility that will only become more important as AI becomes more deeply integrated into the design process.
So we've covered empathy, creativity, strategic thinking, collaboration, and ethical design principles. These are all really important skills for any designer in an AI-powered world. But let's get practical here. What does all this look like in practice?
Well, Mamita gets into that in his post. He argues that one of the most profound ways AI will change design is by transforming how we approach the design process itself.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So he specifically highlights three areas where AI is already making a big impact:
Okay.
rapid prototyping, data-driven insights, and automated testing.
All right, break those down for me. Let's start with rapid prototyping. How is AI changing the game there?
Imagine you're working on a new mobile app design. In the past, you might have spent hours, even days, sketching out different layouts, creating wireframes, building basic prototypes.
Yeah, I've been there. It can be a very time-consuming process, especially in the early stages when you're still exploring different ideas.
Exactly. But now, with AI-powered tools, you can literally sketch out a rough idea on a digital whiteboard, and the AI can instantly generate a high-fidelity interactive prototype based on your sketch.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a design assistant who can read your mind and translate your rough scribbles into a polished product in seconds.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it allows you to test out different ideas, iterate quickly, and get feedback from users much earlier in the design process.
Yeah.
This not only saves time and resources, but also leads to more innovative and user-centered designs.
Okay, so that's rapid prototyping.
Mhm.
What about data-driven insights? How is AI helping us to better understand user needs and behaviors?
Think of all the data that's constantly being generated as people interact with digital products.
Oh, tons.
Browsing history, purchase patterns, social media activity, app usage, even things like location data and biometric data.
It's a massive amount of information. I can't even imagine trying to make sense of all that data manually.
That's where AI comes in. AI algorithms can sift through mountains of data, identify patterns and trends, and extract meaningful insights that would be impossible for humans to uncover on their own.
So instead of relying on gut feeling or guesswork, we can actually get hard data on what users want, what works, and what doesn't.
Precisely. Imagine you're designing a new e-commerce website. AI can analyze user data to tell you which product categories are most popular, what search terms people are using, even things like where users tend to abandon their shopping carts.
That's super valuable information. You could use that to optimize the user interface, personalize product recommendations, streamline the checkout process, all of which could lead to increased sales and customer satisfaction.
Exactly. And it's not just about improving existing products. Data-driven insights can also help us to identify new opportunities, understand emerging trends, and even predict future user needs.
Okay, I'm starting to see how AI is really transforming the way we approach user research and design strategy. What about automated testing? How is AI changing the game in that area?
In the past, usability testing involved recruiting participants, setting up lab environments, and observing users as they interacted with a product.
Yeah, I've been involved in those kinds of studies. They can be really insightful, but they definitely have their limitations in terms of scale and efficiency.
Absolutely. But now with AI-powered testing tools, you can simulate thousands of user interactions, run A/B tests, and identify potential usability issues, all without involving a single human participant.
So it's like having a virtual army of testers working 24/7, providing constant feedback on your designs.
Exactly. And these tools can identify things that humans might miss, like subtle design flaws that could lead to user frustration or even errors.
This is all starting to sound very futuristic. But with all this talk about AI, I have to ask, what happens to us, the human designers? Or are we just going to become obsolete?
That's a question a lot of people are asking, and it's understandable to be concerned.
Hmm.
But the truth is, while AI will undoubtedly change the nature of design work, it's not going to replace human designers altogether.
So it's not AI versus humans. It's more like AI working in partnership with humans.
Exactly. The key is to understand AI's strengths and limitations and to focus on developing the skills and mindsets that will allow us to thrive in this new landscape.
So less about fearing the robot takeover and more about becoming the AI whisperer.
I love that analogy. It's about learning how to communicate with AI, how to leverage its power, and how to guide it in a way that aligns with our human values and aspirations.
Sounds like an exciting challenge. But it also raises a big question. What steps can we take today to prepare for this AI-enhanced future?
That's a great question, and it's one that we'll explore in more detail as we continue our deep dive into Shreyanita's blog post.
So we talked about AI and the big changes it's bringing to design, rapid prototyping, data-driven insights, all that. We've also talked about how we need to develop our human skills like empathy and creative thinking. But what can we actually do, today, to get ready for this future with AI?
Well, Mehta actually talks about that in his post.
Oh, good.
And his advice, I think it's really relevant for anyone, even if you're not a designer. He says, just start by being curious.
Curious.
Yeah, don't be afraid to learn about AI and how it's being used, in all sorts of fields.
Even outside of design.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much out there, online, articles, courses. You can get a basic understanding pretty easily.
Okay, so you don't have to become a data scientist or anything.
No, not at all.
But having some idea of how AI works can help you see what's possible.
Exactly. And then once you have that basic knowledge, start experimenting. Try out some of those AI tools.
Oh, like the ones we talked about.
Yeah, a lot of them have free trials or limited versions.
Okay, that makes sense.
Get a feel for how they work.
Yeah, you can see how they fit into your workflow, right?
Exactly. And, they might even inspire you to think differently about the problems you're trying to solve.
Cool.
As you're experimenting, focus on your strengths. What are you really good at? What are you passionate about?
So if you're good at user research, stick with that.
Exactly. Or storytelling, visual communication, whatever it is, double down on those strengths and think about how AI can help you there.
Okay, so it's not about trying to become like the AI expert.
Right.
It's about figuring out how AI can make you even better at what you already do well.
Exactly. And as you're doing all of this, don't forget about the human side of things.
Right, because it's easy to get caught up in all the technical stuff.
It really is. But in the end, we're designing for people, not for algorithms.
That's a really good point because no matter how advanced AI gets, it's still humans who have feelings and needs and, hopes for the future.
It is. And it's our job as designers to create products that really connect with those human experiences.
I think that's what really stood out to me from Meta's blog post. AI can change design, sure, but it's up to us to use it responsibly and ethically.
And with a real understanding of what people want and need.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not about fearing the robots or anything. It's about embracing the possibilities, learning new skills, figuring out how to work with AI to create a better future.
A more human-centered future.
Yes, well said. Anyone who wants to learn more about all this AI stuff should definitely check out Assam Hub Solutions.
Yeah, they're really doing some amazing work.
This has been a really great deep dive. It's given me so much to think about.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. And it seems like we're just at the beginning of this whole AI revolution.
Who knows what's coming next?
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI and product design. We'll catch you next time for another exploration of all the cool stuff that's shaping our future.